Hey there, I'm Jeff Morneau, the investment advisor with TCG, which is a financial planning partner of First Mark Credit Union. As a former educator, I wanted to make some videos of topics that I wish I was aware of when I was a teacher. And today we're going to be talking about a very, very important topic that is really important to review as you get ready to retire. And that topic is which TRS payout option is right for you. In a previous video, we covered how your TRS benefit is calculated. If you haven't seen the video on maximizing your TRS payment, I would highly suggest you watch that video first, as it will help you provide a foundation for today's video, which can be overwhelming at times. So, when you calculate your TRS payment, that number will be what's known as your standard annuity. And what is a standard annuity? A standard annuity is a monthly fixed benefit for the remainder of your life. You may ask, well, what happens if I die and if I've selected the standard annuity? Well, if you've received more in monthly benefits than the cash value of your contributions to TRS, your monthly benefits would cease upon your death and your family would receive a one-time $10,000 benefit, which is really just designed to help you with funeral and transition costs. So you can probably see that if you have a spouse, child, or any other individual directly reliant on you for their support, there is substantial risk associated with death under the standard annuity option. To help mitigate this risk, TRS offers 5 additional options to help cover a range of household and beneficiary needs. Now, before we dive into the options, it's worth noting that all 5 options will offer a reduced monthly benefit compared to the standard annuity option, since each has unique opportunities to continue your monthly benefit past your death. I have come across retired teachers who chose the standard annuity simply because it had the highest benefit, when in fact that was really not a very good option for their needs at all. So it's really important to fully understand your options, because although calculating the standard annuity option is super simple, the calculations for these reduced payout options is much more complicated. And once you select an option and start receiving benefits, you can never change it again. So let's start by looking at options 1, 2, and 5, as they're all joint life annuity options. So what does a joint life annuity mean? Joint life means that when you enroll in one of these options, you will select one and only one beneficiary to receive a benefit for the remainder of their life if you were to predecease them. Most oftentimes, that beneficiary is a spouse, okay? How much would the benefit be to that beneficiary? Well, that really depends on which options you choose. Option 1 is 100% joint life. So if your beneficiary would receive the same benefit that you received. In a sense, your payments would just continue unchanged till the death of your beneficiary. Option 2 is 50%. So half of the payments would continue, and option 5 is 75%. So 100, 50, and 75%, okay? You may ask, why wouldn't everyone just choose option 1? Well, the calculations for how much of a reduction to your monthly benefit you will realize with each option is complex and based on life expectancy tables of not only you at your retirement age, but also the age of your beneficiary and their percentage payoff. With this complexity and uniqueness to each situation, I highly recommend you consult with TRS directly to get an accurate model of how much each benefit would cost in reductions. Okay, so at this point you might think, well, okay, I'll just name my grandkid as a beneficiary. If I pass when they're 16, they'll get payments for the remainder of their life, right? Unfortunately, for the options that are 100% and 75%, you have limitations based on the difference in your age and the beneficiary. So really, you can't just leave it to a grandkid, and most often not even your child. And what happens if your beneficiary passes before you? In that circumstance, your annuity will be increased back to the standard annuity payout option, as there will be no benefit continued after your death, since you cannot change the beneficiary once your payments have started. So that was a lot of information. The good news is that options 3 and 4 are a little bit more simple. With options 3 and 4, you're not selecting a beneficiary to receive lifetime payments, but you are guaranteeing a certain amount of monthly payments to either your, or in the case of your death, to the beneficiaries for a set amount of time. Option 3 is 60 payments or 5 years guaranteed. while option 4 is 120 payments or 10 years guaranteed. So how would this work in practice? Let's say you choose option 4 and die after 6 years or 72 payments. Your beneficiaries would still be entitled to 48 payments, after which the payments will cease. Now let's pretend you selected option 3 and were to die after receiving 65 payments. Well, what would happen then? Well, since you have received your guaranteed 60 payments already, your beneficiaries will not be entitled to any benefit upon your death, as the guaranteed payments have already been fulfilled. It's important to note, one advantage to these two options is that you can select multiple beneficiaries, as the reduction does not need to take into account the life expectancy of the beneficiary, since it's not based on their life, it's just based on 120 or 60 payments. So which option works for you? It really depends on your household situation and estate planning needs. But let's quickly look at some common circumstances that may lend themselves to one particular option, just to give you an idea. So if you have a spouse that never worked nor paid Social Security, then option 1 or 5 may be a good option, as that spouse is super dependent on your TRS in order to survive. If you have some kid who just entered college and you're unmarried and want to ensure that your kids will receive support through their education, then option 3 or 4 may be worth looking at, as you can name multiple beneficiaries and ensure their support through a specific time period, which with options 3 or 4. Now, let's say you have a special needs child who will need support for the remainder of his or her life, then option 2 might be worthwhile, as there's no limitation to age differences between you and your beneficiary, and that payment would be the remainder for the child's life who needs that support. And lastly, if you don't need to offer any support to anyone else in the case of your passing, then the standard life annuity option may be the best for you, as it will offer you the highest monthly benefit. It's also important to remember that life insurance, or lack thereof, could factor heavily into your comprehensive estate plan, so you may want to talk with an advisor before making any decisions. All right, so I know that was a lot. When it comes to these additional payout options, I think it's important to consult directly with TRS, as the amount of variables associated with calculating and comparing these plans can be quite complex. If you have any questions or need further guidance, our team is here to assist you. So visit www.tcgservices.com/telewealth to book a one-on-one meeting with a retirement plan specialist today. Thank you so much. I hope you get some value out of today's video, and stay tuned for more to come.